Thanks everyone for joining us today. So the key takeaways from outperforming your competition with Google Ads today will be how to invest in Google Ads a smart way, matching the right campaign with your goals. And this webinar is going to give you the impression that goals are important. We'll also look at best practices for setting up your campaigns. And then we'll talk about creating effective ads, some advanced features to help drive conversions. And lastly, we'll share a couple awesome stories from our clients currently having success with Google Ads. Sometimes it's important to be in the top positions on Google search. So let's look at a real world scenario to kind of illustrate this. This is Gerald. Gerald's a healthy adult who likes to hike and be outdoors. While hiking on vacation, Gerald slipped on a moss-covered rock and ended up slicing his knee open. Gerald knew he needed to seek medical attention, but didn't want to go to the emergency room and wasn't familiar with this area. Gerald determined that an urgent care would be a better choice. This is a micro moment. It's something we need right now, and we rely on Google and other search engines to give us that information. Gerald did a Google search and found a bunch of results for urgent care. Gerald's eye catches an ad that shows a location close to him that's open, and that they're able to treat minor cuts and scrapes. Gerald clicks on the location to get directions, and then calls the clinic to make sure they're able to treat his wound. So thanks to a well-placed and well-timed ad on Google, Gerald is now good as new and can get back to doing what he loves. So what does Gerald teach us about Google Ads? According to a recent study by Moz, the scales of organic versus paid ads are shifting in many industries across the web. This means that the stigma of people ignoring ads seems to be fading. Google Ads allow you to take advantage of those micro moments like Gerald's and have the right message at the right time. It also allows you to remain competitive in services that you're not typically ranking for and give you a quick boost in the search engine result pages, or SERPs, when you need it. You've read articles, listened to podcasts, maybe attended some webinars like this one, and you know that you can't avoid digital marketing. You have to embrace it, but is Google Ads part of that strategy? When is the right time? Maybe you're not seeing much of a return on your traditional marketing efforts. Or maybe you've been tasked with reaching a specific audience, like millennials, and the newspaper ads and billboards aren't cutting it anymore. Maybe you're promoting something new with traditional marketing, and you want to enlist the help of the internet. Or perhaps digital marketing, specifically Google Ads, picks up where a lot of those other tactics left off. Being in marketing, you understand that sometimes proving the value of your strategies can be difficult. You know that thousands of people see your billboard every day, but the tracking typically ends there. How do you measure ROI of a newspaper ad unless you require they bring it in with them to their appointment? Tracking phone numbers is great, but is it enough? Google Ads not only allows you to take advantage of those micro moments, it also allows you to track that user all the way through their experience on your website. With the billboard, you can't determine that each passing car is the car you're looking for. With Google Ads, you decide exactly what each keyword, each click, and each conversion is worth. Gone are the days where you have to struggle to show ROI. Things can move pretty fast in marketing. Even a slow-moving initiative can sneak up on you, and you don't always have time to get that postcard printed to support a short-lived campaign. Even if you do get your print pieces out in time, how do you know people have enough time to react before that campaign ends? Google Ads allows you to reach people immediately with exactly the message, call to action, and goal that you want them to complete. SEO isn't going anywhere. Every time we think we've got a handle on what Google is looking for, they come out with a massive algorithm overhaul that redefines the way we work. Thanks a lot, Medic Update 2018. With the rise of things like voice search and the resurgence of long-tail keywords, you might not be ranking as well as you'd like for those trendy searches. Because everyone wants to be the authority, gaining standing for those keywords isn't an overnight thing, but you want that traffic now. Google Ads allows you to supplement your organic rankings, or lack thereof, and get in the race for those searches. Competition can be fierce in Google Ads, but it's nothing compared to the competition within local and organic results. So you're already doing fine tracking your traditional marketing efforts. Your stakeholders trust you, and proving worth isn't a problem for you. You're a master of managing your time, so the idea of being on short time for promoting a specific campaign seems laughable. You're an SEO master, and there are no keywords you're not ranking for. You are digital marketing. And then you open a new location. You provide a new service. You're at square one on the internet and you want to drive valuable traffic to this new area. It's important to recognize that your website isn't just a website. It's a branch, a location, an extension of your brick and mortar, and requires the same attention as your physical locations. You promote a new branch opening. Maybe you cut a red ribbon. Google Ads can be the digital representation of that ribbon cutting, at least until you dominate the organic rankings again. 89% of people use Google search when looking for healthcare. I know, of course, Google is going to report that we need Google, but it's true. We Google everything all the time. By this point, we assume you're convinced that Google Ads is the right move for you. So what next? Do we just start throwing some ads for things we think people want? Not quite. Rushing into a digital campaign is just as ill-advised as rushing into a traditional campaign. We need to be intentional with our decisions. So our first step is determining what we hope to get out of this campaign. What are our goals? Simply driving traffic is fine if brand awareness is your goal. But if brand awareness is your goal, is a PPC campaign the answer? Conversion opportunities might not be obvious for every campaign, but they likely exist. Tracking how long someone stayed on your site isn't synonymous with reading or converting, so don't be too broad. After you've gotten more specific with your goals, ask yourself if it's measurable. Instead of tracking page views or how many pages a user visits, maybe scroll depth is an option to determine if people are actually reading your content. If you can't measure the goal, you can't prove its worth. Make sure your goals are realistic. If your goal is for someone to fill out 5 different forms on one page, you might wind up disappointed. Determine the priority of your conversions and aim for the best value. Finally, if you want users to do something, you need to let them do it. Setting up a goal for people booking appointments is fantastic. However, if they can't book that appointment online, or they can't easily utilize another medium such as the phone to book that appointment, you probably won't get good results on that goal. Your goal must be possible. We told you that goals would be a big theme of this webinar. That's because your entire strategy hinges on what you hope to accomplish. You wouldn't sign up for a race and start training if you didn't know the distance of that race. At the end of this webinar, we're going to show you the results of a couple campaigns we ran recently for Owensboro Health and Olmsted Medical Center. Olmsted Medical Center is situated in Rochester, Minnesota. The competition is fierce for them as the Mayo Clinic is right in their backyard. Olmsted Medical Center wanted to find creative ways to remain competitive and showcase their strengths. ER wait times at Mayo, depending on their traffic, can be anywhere between 4 and 6 hours. Olmsted Medical Center saw an opportunity to highlight that their wait times were closer to 11 minutes and capture some of that quality traffic. With Geonetric's help, it was determined that a display ad was the right choice. It's unlikely that people aren't researching emergency rooms. It's rare that someone is in the market for a sudden injury. A display campaign presented the opportunity to reach nearly 600,000 computer screens, building a huge amount of awareness for their ER. So let's take a look at some other specific goal examples and how we determine which campaign or campaigns we should use. Start thinking about your own goals. Even if it seems difficult to track or promote, remember that if it involves the internet, it can be tracked. So the first goal we'll look at is scheduling an appointment online. This requires a PPC campaign because it allows you to send specific and intentional traffic to your landing page with an emphasis on scheduling. If you're raising awareness for a new location, maybe a display campaign is more prevalent because it allows you to reach a wide array of people for a very limited cost. For example, Owensboro Health opened 3 new healthplexes in their service area. They were utilizing some traditional marketing, but understood that digital campaigns would be important to ensuring these openings were successful. With the goal being more targeted to those locations, we determined a PPC campaign was more effective to promote those healthplexes. We'll touch more on both of these fantastic organizations as we go and share some more results at the end. Perhaps your goal is to have people subscribe to a newsletter or some email marketing campaign. A PPC campaign, much like scheduling an appointment, might be your best bet as it allows you to send a lot more targeted traffic into a specific funnel. Maybe you want to promote something seasonal like flu vaccinations. We find that something like this can fit into a display or a PPC or possibly both. This allows you to spread the awareness if you're allowing people to walk in and get this vaccination with a display campaign, or if you would like them to kind of schedule an appointment, you can send that specific traffic with a PPC campaign like you would with the other examples. Google Ads fall into two main categories, pay-per-click and display. We'll go over the pros and cons of each and how they align with, or alternatively, fight against your goals. Here's how I like to think about the difference between these two campaign types. Imagine you just opened a retail store in a strip mall. You put up a billboard on one of the busier streets in town to let people know you just opened. People might not stop what they're doing and drive to your location, but you've made contact with them. You've established that top of mind awareness, and when they decide they need some new clothes, they might choose you. Outside of your store, you have another sign. This sign says all t-shirts are buy one, get one free. People that are already at the strip mall shopping see the sign and decide to come in and check out the deal. They weren't necessarily looking for you, but they were out shopping and saw your sign, which was enough to bring them inside. The billboard on the side of the road is your display ad. It's not intended to drive that sale, it's meant to build that awareness. The sign outside of the store is your PPC campaign. It's targeted, it's in a place where people are already searching for that topic, and it gives them a reason to choose you. One thing to keep in mind is that neither of these signs or campaigns can make people buy. The campaigns get them in the proverbial door, and it's on you and your website to make them convert. So you've established your goals and you want to build awareness, and you don't really need the user to do anything. To be honest, you don't even necessarily need them to go to the site. You want them to know you exist and that you do this specific thing. Display ads are likely the right choice for you. Display ads, and likewise paid ads on social media, are a great way to reach a ton of people for a low cost. They also allow you to interrupt an otherwise boring screen with graphics. However, depending on your audience and placement, which we'll cover later, these people might not be in the market for you right now. If your goal is immediate action, you might be barking up the wrong digital tree. We know that display campaigns aren't made for immediate conversions. We know we don't have much space for copy, and we don't get fancy extensions. We know that this is designed to build awareness and drive general traffic to our site. So is there anything special that display can do? Display campaigns are the epicenter for retargeting on the internet. What is retargeting? It's that pair of shoes on Amazon that follows you around from website to website to website, all because you looked at them once last week. You know you're going to buy them, but we'll pretend you won't. In healthcare, we don't have the same freedom with our retargeting. With things like HIPAA, our options are limited to basically being brand awareness. However, that borderline creepy reminder that you exist is very effective. This can be the final piece in turning that user that bounced before into a loyal patient. What if your goals are more specific? What if you want those people to call a certain number or fill out a certain form? What if you have established goal funnels in Google Analytics and you want to drive traffic into those funnels? You're looking for PPC. PPC allows you to target specific keywords at specific times and utilize specific call to actions that drive relevant traffic into your goals. Gone are the days where PPC was a bit of a secret. You're not the only person that recognizes how important this medium is, and because of that, competition can be pricey. But you're not everyone else. You're intentional and strategic with your campaign, so you know how to get more for less. All you have to do is dedicate a little time to monitor and optimize this campaign. We all know that Google places a lot of emphasis on user experience. It affects your SEO, your local rankings, and it spills over into paid advertising as well. The way Google rewards or penalizes your user experience with PPC is through your quality score. There are a lot of variables that go into your quality score, but the general sentiment is that your keywords should match your ad copy, which should match the content on your landing page. That means you should do what you say you do in your campaign. Pretty simple. The more focused you are on improving your quality score, the cheaper your clicks will be. Cheaper clicks mean your budget stretches further and the more ROI you create. If building awareness isn't your focus and you want to drive relevant and intentional traffic to your specific goals, PPC is likely the answer for you. We've gone over the benefits of using PPC, and soon we'll be going over the ins and outs of PPC ads and how to use all the features Google has to offer. So let's recap. We watched Gerald take a spill and learned that micro moments can lead to revenue. We discussed reasons we might choose Google Ads and how to determine which ad types work for our goals. We know the pros and cons, and we know that no matter what we choose, we need to be tactical and intentional. We've made our choice. Now what? Let's talk about how to set up these ads. With PPC ads, you have quite a few options, but chances are you're going to focus on the search network with all features. Other campaign types might fill very niche needs, but you'll be able to carry over all of this information there, so don't worry. If you're not already using Google Search Console, I recommend getting that set up. Search Console allows you to see exactly what people are searching before coming to your website. This allows you to get a snapshot of where you rank organically and what types of keywords people are using to find you. This gives you a couple options. You can either determine that a certain keyword or phrase is already driving some quality traffic and you rank really well, so you don't need to spend money bidding on those keywords, or you can determine that you're not ranking very well for a keyword with a lot of impressions and choose to target that keyword. Using your goals, your landing page, and your competitors, build out a comprehensive list of keywords, as many keywords as you can, even if there's only a slight variance, like urgent care clinic versus urgent care center. Put yourself in the mind of the users. They might refer to something differently than you do, as in doctors versus physicians. Don't get hung up on things being wrong. Try to target the consumer. Once you have this list, run it through Google's Keyword Planner and get an idea of what kind of traffic these keywords drive. If Google says that there's no search volume for a certain keyword, it doesn't mean you should eliminate it, just temper expectations. Just as important as quality list of keywords is a quality list of negative keywords. This list will evolve over time, but initially you want to try and eliminate any keyword that might fire your ads incorrectly. For example, if you utilize the word provider, you might want to place a word like insurance on your negative list. For more information about negative keywords, check out our new blog post, which is specifically related to negative keywords and excluded locations. After you have your finalized list of keywords, sort them into ad groups. Remember, you want your keywords to match your ad, so having a keyword for cardiac show an ad for bariatrics doesn't make for a good user experience. Each ad group has its own keywords and ads. They also allow you more specific bidding options. So where are you targeting? Zip codes, cities, radii? If there's anywhere you don't want your ads to show, exclude those locations just as you would with negative keywords. Google Display Ads, graphics. While your display ad might not contain happy little trees or mountains, it can still be a work of art in its own right. Google Display Ads, graphics aside, are a lot more straightforward in their setup. Much like your goals, you'll want to identify what kind of audience and placement strategy you want to use. A couple of the most popular audience strategies are affinity and custom intent. Affinity utilizes keywords, website content, and apps that users are using to target your ads. Custom intent, which is the most robust form of audience building, is a combination of all audience types with complete control over ad placement. Your placement can be as wide or narrow as you want, from content-based to specific URLs. Google has a nice ad design studio that helps you create ads with no graphic design background. However, with limited templates, it's easy for your ad to blend into the crowd, so having someone design your ads for you might be a smarter play. We'll get into ad specifics soon. The hard part is over. Well, this hard part is over at least. You've done the legwork and you've built campaigns that align with your goals and target the right people at the right time. Now, how do you make your ads pay off all that hard work? How do you make your ad compelling, unique, and worth clicking? Your hard work on the keyword list pays off here. If you've established quality ad groups, your ad should always be relevant no matter which keyword triggered it. Once you get going and establish your top earning keywords, if you haven't already, try to include them in the headline. Otherwise, utilizing dynamic insertion allows you to take whatever keyword was searched and put it in the headline. The secret is out. All those times you thought the ad was exactly down to the letter what you were looking for, it's because they tricked you. They used dynamic insertion, and now you can trick people too. Remember those goals we set up? Every ad should have a call to action. Maybe it's just to learn, maybe it's to call, maybe it's to sign up. The call to action is your choice, but it needs to be there. You can't expect a user to take action if you don't tell them what action to take. Google has a few rules we have to follow while doing all of the above. You can't get excessive with the caps lock. Google thinks it's spammy and they won't allow it. Likewise, you can't get repetitive with punctuation. For some reason, Google doesn't like it if you're super excited all the time. Google is constantly updating, from the shift from Google AdWords to Google Ads to foundational changes to the way the ads show. In fact, the character limits changed from the time I first wrote this slide now that I'm presenting it. You can also utilize call-only ads if you think users can call without visiting your website, such as urgent care. You can also use the same dynamic insertion functions as your headline in the description for live countdowns, keyword insertion, or even to show different text to mobile versus users on desktop. Finally, and arguably the most useful feature, ad extensions. We'll dive into these shortly. We also have a new white paper that'll go over the 5 tips to rock PPC campaigns that includes more info on a lot of these features. So let's take a look at another ad example and the elements it contains. My search was for bariatric surgery. You can see those keywords appear in the headline right away to catch your eye. Their description is short and to the point. You can see my keywords, surgery in this case, are bolded in the description. Google does this to showcase that this ad has what I was looking for as a user. The call to action here is to learn more about their bariatric services and also throws in a little call out to them being the top weight loss surgeons. They have other call to actions for those who are ready to move on this service. They have a clickable link with their location, which will open directions in Google Maps. They also showcase their hours, which might be enough to make someone come in now, and it also eliminates some needless calls for that specific inquiry. This ad also showcases a couple site link extensions. Don't worry, extensions are coming up soon. Overall, this is a pretty well done ad, but you can do even better. Your display ads don't have all the same elements that a PPC ad has, but they still have some best practices. There are a number of ad sizes that Google uses in their network, from larger skyscrapers on websites to mobile banners. It's important to ensure your images translate between those sizes. It's also important to make sure you take advantage of those ad sizes. Different sites offer different sizes, and if your ad doesn't fit, it doesn't show. Like with the PPC ad, the limited copy you have on a display ad needs to be clear and compelling, even if the goal is awareness. Things like click here will typically be disapproved by Google as they might interpret it as spam. Make sure your ad is bold. Sometimes the ads are integrated among other photos, and sometimes they're on a page that has content that requires a user to scroll. You want to ensure your ad is seen, so make it stand out. If the user doesn't click through your ad, will they know it's yours? Make sure you brand your ads clearly. Let them know who is behind that Bob Ross work of art. In this example from Mercy, Iowa City, you can see they have clear branding up top. They have a nice, clear, and concise headline, a high-resolution image, and a call to action at the bottom to learn more, with an additional piece of information indicating that this ad is for primary care. All these components together make an effective and eye-catching ad. So did we do a good job of hyping up ad extensions for your PPC ad? Are you excited as we are? Let's take a look at some extensions. Google offers a plethora of options and features for their ads. Let's dive right into some of those options and their use. Site link extensions allow you to link to other pages on your site outside of the destination URL for your ad. In this example, Walmart used their site link extensions as pre-made filters for their TVs. You can see the top-rated TVs, the new arrivals, or which ones are on sale. You can use these to showcase specific treatments or services within your service line. Location extensions are pretty straightforward. This allows you to list your physical location within your ad and allows users to get directions without having to visit your service or location pages. Affiliate locations are helpful if you have a lot of locations that offer the same service. These extensions can utilize the user's location and give them the closest location to them. These were especially helpful in our Owensboro example, as they had 3 separate healthplexes that they were trying to drive traffic to. Instead of developing 3 entirely different geographic strategies, we can use affiliate locations to let Google do that work for us. Structured snippets are your opportunity to share more information about you. You can showcase amenities, classes, insurance coverage, or more. Call extensions, like location extensions, allow users to take action now without visiting your website. Mobile users can simply click your number and call you immediately. If your organization offers text messaging as an option, message extensions allow people to text you directly from the ad. If you have an app, Google's app extension is a great way to feature that app and get downloads. Last but certainly not least, the callout extensions. These are similar to site link extensions, but they aren't clickable. These let you add additional call to actions to your ads. All of these extensions do something special, and they all help to improve the quality of your ad, ensure that each user sees something they're looking for, and have been proven to increase your click-through rate. And if the incredible value these options add isn't enough, they do one more great thing. They make your ad bigger. Grab your phone and Google pizza near me. If Pizza Hut is the PPC juggernaut in your area like they are in mine, let me know if you can see anything other than their ad on the screen. When you're in one of those micro moments we covered earlier, that makes quite the difference. I hope everyone's still with us. We're throwing a lot of information at you, but the payoff is definitely worth it. So once we've got our campaign up and running, what's next? Remember we said when you were done with the hard part, this is the other hard part. Much like golf, it's the little tweaks to your swing, your stance, and your follow-through that have the biggest impact on your game. Let's look at a few of the tweaks we can make to our campaigns. Let's optimize. In regards to PPC, the most important thing is to actually monitor your campaign. This is not a set it and forget it initiative. It requires your care and attention. The first 30 days of your campaign are what we refer to as the ramp-up period. This is when Google gets to know you and your campaign and determine if they can trust you, aka start building that quality score. You don't want to optimize too heavily in this time frame because you can't be entirely sure what is or isn't working. Obviously, you'll want to fix glaring issues if those are arriving. Google offers a few different bidding strategies. You can set manual bids, which we wouldn't recommend if you're not very experienced. Beyond that, they offer bidding strategies to get more clicks and more conversions. By default, you'll optimize for the best click-through rate, but as time goes on and Google learns your campaign and audience, you'll have the opportunity to choose. For those with solid conversions and goals established, optimizing for conversions might be your best bet. The biggest thing you'll be doing throughout the duration of your campaign is eliminating waste and increasing ROI. Some keywords, even with the best research behind them, just don't perform. Sometimes certain days or times of day are resulting in a lot of traffic with no conversions. You'll want to click through the elements we discussed before and determine what's working and what isn't. This is also a great opportunity to look into the PPC assessment that Geometric is offering. We can help you walk through those elements and determine what the best options are for your specific campaign. If you adjust your ad copy, whether you're optimizing or simply thought up a new awesome ad, you'll want to reset the rest of your ads. By default, Google attempts to help you determine which ads are best and show those ads more often. While looking at your ads, you'll see percentage served, which is how often each ad is being shown. Creating a new ad and not resetting the others starts that ad at a disadvantage as Google has already determined which ad is best. Pro tip, Google isn't always right. Pay attention to the metrics that are important to you and determine which ad is best yourself. Your keywords are never done. You're always adjusting match types, adding and removing keywords, and growing your list of negative keywords. Negative keywords can be done for the entire campaign or for individual ad groups. Utilize your search query report with the keywords tab to see what people are actually searching and which keywords they're matching with. Google will also give you the option to add keywords to any of your lists directly from this report. Monitor your impression share. Your impression share is how often your ad shows compared to how often it could. If 100 people Googled a keyword that your ad should show for, how often did it actually appear on the page? There are two major reasons that your ad wouldn't show. Either your daily budget was gone before that search happened, or you were outbid and it didn't show up on the first page. In either case, this usually means that your budget is too small or you're targeting too wide of an area. We understand that increasing your budget isn't always an option, so utilize your location reports to determine if you can cut out some of that geography. You might be pumping dollars into a location that isn't pumping ROI back to you. We could do an entire webinar series on optimizing your PPC campaign. The trick is that there is no trick. Like everything else you've done up to this point, you need to be intentional with your optimizations. Stick to your goals, draw lines in the sand, and eliminate things that aren't working. The first few times you optimize will be frustrating and take some time, but the more you do it, the more quickly you'll pick up on what needs to be done. One more pro tip here. Notate your changes. Don't make a lot of dramatic changes at the same time, as you'll struggle to recognize which one had which effect. Take notes of things you changed so you can undo them if they were a wrong decision, or take them further if they had the desired outcome. If optimizing your PPC campaign has you like a deer in headlights, have no fear. Display campaigns are quite a bit easier to manage. You still want to monitor your campaign. Ensure nothing's disapproved or broken. Look at which site your ad is showing up on and determine if that's the best place for it. If not, add it to the excluded list. You're the master of your destiny here. Much like billboards on the streets of your city, if they're there too long, you stop seeing them. Change up your ads from time to time, switch up the images, use some different copy. If your ads are animated, use a different animation. Avoid becoming see-through. Revisit your audience and placement strategies. Do they still make sense? Can you dial it in even further? Or alternatively, should you expand? Much like your keywords for PPC, these tactics should always evolve. You don't have to do much heavy lifting with display once it's running, so use this as a mental break from the flood of data involved in optimizing your PPC campaign. Sometimes the easy wins are pretty awesome. The good thing about consistently monitoring and optimizing your campaigns is that you should be well aware if it's successful throughout. Time to report to the people that signed the check. You knew the whole time what your goals were. You optimized them along the way. Did you meet those goals? Did you learn anything about your traffic that you can implement on your site? Maybe people reacted really well to a certain call to action, or maybe you had a certain set of keywords that perform very well that you can implement on an SEO basis. Are there any ways to continue to communicate with your audience after the campaign ends? Maybe a text marketing campaign or email or an onboarding newsletter, maybe some type of drip campaign. So now what? Google can give you all the analytics of your campaign and all the data in the world, but it's up to you to determine if it was a success. We talked about going over a couple of real-life case studies. With the goal of providing convenient access to outpatient care, Owensboro Health opened 3 new Healthplex facilities in their service area. To build awareness of the new facilities, Owensboro Health partnered with Geonetric to invest in a paid search strategy that leveraged new Google ad conversion types and complemented their optimization efforts. Our team developed paid search campaigns focused on awareness leading up to openings, which then transitioned into conversion campaigns. We focused on continuous optimization throughout the campaign, along with ensuring paid and search engine optimization efforts work together. So the slide on the screen right now is in regards to Owensboro Health. So the project is still going today, but so far unique page views to urgent care increased 322% based on paid text and display working together, and the campaign produced a 27% spike in overall site traffic year over year, with organic search the primary source of that traffic. The 3 paid search ad campaigns averaged a 10% conversion rate and produced 148 total calls to the system from searchers. The campaign also got 487 clicks on links to their location pages and delivered 30 conversions using Google Ads local conversion ad type. What that means is that when somebody clicked on the ad, it placed a cookie on their device, on their mobile phone, and when they actually went to the physical location, it triggered a conversion. So those local conversion types mean that people actually visit the physical location. So you can see performance-wise, the campaigns performed a lot better than my notes did. So as mentioned earlier, Olmsted Medical Center was looking for a creative way to share information about one of their services and the competitive Rochester, Minnesota market they share with Mayo Clinic. One piece of information the medical center wanted to share around emergency wait room time. Olmsted Medical Center turned to Geonetric and our digital marketing team to create a paid advertising campaign to build awareness for those ER services. So these are the results for Olmsted Medical Center. So you can see the total impressions garnered by the campaign, nearly 600,000 impressions, 3,979 clicks, 3,392 Facebook engagements. With a campaign like the emergency room, where you're not really targeting people that got a sudden injury the same way you would with a PPC campaign, the campaign was primarily geared around showcasing that they didn't have to wait 4 to 6 hours to be seen in the emergency room when Olmsted Medical Group had much faster wait times.